So what marketing or sales books are you kind of recommending for them to read to help get them energized and inspired to go out and talk to people, get out of their comfort zone? Because, I mean, that's what some of these books do is they help inspire and get you kind of pumped up to go, okay, I read this chapter. I'm so pumped. I'm ready to execute this thing I just read. So what would you say are your top 5 books that you recommend?
Do you know what's funny? I don't like business books.
Okay. So no books whatsoever.
No, I feel like we have enough to do, and our industry is so complicated and so multifaceted and so unique. I read a lot. I read 52 books last year, but they're all just nonsense.
Just
they're
kind
all
of
to like turn my brain off.
That's just entertainment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Which is funny because I mean, I have a business coach, and every consultant that I've ever talked to likes to recommend books and everything. Do you guys read books? Do you like business books?
Yeah, I mean, I'll listen to some on the way to work sometimes, or flip between that and a podcast. Or if I'm sitting somewhere too long, then I'll open up the Kindle app on my phone and flip through. The one that I really enjoy listening to, and I've listened to it a lot on repeat, Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. It helps with just overall negotiating and answering problems, and really helps with negotiating with children, teenagers.
Yeah, I think you need to have a source of ideas, okay?
Yep.
So that source can be podcast, that source can be
Audiobooks.
It can be TED Talks. But you can't invent everything in your head. I can tell you that I have never read a section from a business book and not applied it to something that day.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if that rings true.
And Kelly Babcock also, like a lot of her stuff, I mean, she reads a bunch of marketing and self-help books, and she's applying them in her world and in her talks.
Yeah, there's some things that aren't, but if they're getting it from a person, you can get it from somebody. You can get it from a class, or you can get it from but there are certainly things in my mind that aren't intuitive to people about how, especially Chris Voss's book on negotiation is really powerful. Just simple things and techniques when you talk about reflection, posing somebody what somebody has said back to them, giving people air by doing that. It's great. That's who is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he tells the story of his son who came and telling him he wanted to quit school, and how that conversation goes poorly by the parent going, oh, no, you can't quit school. School's super important. And I did school and I did this. And instantly that conversation became about the parent, and the difference of reflecting back and giving that person air, so you want to quit school.
And then they feel like they have to
talk.
Explain.
And it comes out that he was being bullied. And nothing about wanting to quit. He just was bullying at school. And the parent going on about how important school was had nothing to do with what was actually going on. And you needed to get air out by just reflecting back what the person just said and just pausing and listening and giving them the space. So those are things that aren't intuitive. And you got to get them somewhere. You can get them on a podcast. You can get them in a book. You can get them. Now, I
could see that.
I think business books are, many times the first 2 chapters are everything, and the last half of it is something.
There are some of them that I'll start to read, and then after you get through the first 3 to 4 chapters, then the next one starts to repeat, and you're like, okay, I've already read this. They're just seeing the same thing, but different characters.
A lot of my formative was Zig Ziglar and all of his sales tapes and stuff at that time. I didn't get to go see Zig Ziglar in person, but I've probably heard his tapes 1,000 times. But I definitely heard. I've worked with people before. I had a boss at one point who was that way. I don't like business books. Well, hopefully, a person who's not getting business books is surrounding themselves by people and getting those, and getting things that you can build upon.